Gosh, we just finished Hack.Asia, 36 hours
yeah,
hacking.
Cheers to that.
Yes, cheers to that.
Being done,
Online hacking, right? Now, tell me, what are your first impressions?
First impression actually was just the diversity of entrants, and honestly, the young talent was just scary. Like, hopefully, it means I get to retire early. But the students were really brought these not necessarily high tech, but really resourceful uses of technology we already have to address these challenges that have hit us really quickly in 2020, right?
Absolutely.
So that was really the most surprising, is just the diversity of talent and ideas that came through.
Cool, yes. And JLL had a challenge that was particular for students and
Yes.
solo innovators that formed teams, right?
Yeah.
And then you were also a judge. Tell us a little bit, how difficult was it, or what was the experience as a judge?
There's always a lot of pressure judging, right? Because you don't know what you don't know, and you.
I always say that.
And you don't want to put down any ideas. 'Cause, there's no such thing as a bad idea, at least as long as it's addressing a good problem, right? Or it comes from a good place, and you don't want to put down any ideas. But I would say that the toughest part is when somebody had something that's really substantial, but just didn't really address what the problem was. And so for me, the most challenging is that it's this is good, but you're trying to make your solution fit our problem. And that's a little disheartening as a judge, because you want to recognize the quality of the work, but you also want to make sure you stay on the mission.
Exactly,
and that's
which
a
is
tough balance.
Creating value in real life, right? And with that, arguably, the question is, can you imagine some of these teams actually, to bring them on board and give them opportunity for a pilot or a proof of
Not
concept?
just that, not simply limited to bringing you on board, but I'm pretty excited. We were just speaking with our winners of our challenge about. We actually want to bring them on board to sort of replicate the energy that they have. So rather than saying, "Come on, do an internship, get my coffee in the morning, and and find a bunch of magazine articles for me," we want to give them little problem statements and just give them a 1-week sprint. So if it's a 6-week internship, they might have 6 different things that they prototype for us. But it's really sort of trying to bottle and then channel that energy back into our business. I said when we announced them as winners earlier that one of the things that separated them, we essentially had a 3-way tie, but it was really a half a point sort of lead for them as winners. But what really did it for us was they seemed to embody the kind of energy and enthusiasm and spirit of collaboration that we were trying to extract for our staff in our own problem statement. So there's really, why not try to tap into that as much as possible?
I love it. So it's not only value creation through the solution, but really the methodology, the energy, the passion, and kind of like role model that in the organization.
Well, what's the sense in tapping that energy only to have come and say, okay, come innovate the way I tell you to, doesn't make any sense, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's actually, I think, why we particularly loved, at WHub to partner with Jardines and, the business units and you guys, because you truly embrace, the entrepreneurial spirit and trying to leverage it rather than just, trying to source some solutions, implement them, and move on.
Well, it's meeting in the middle, right? We have this huge, all of these organizations have this massive collective buying power, but it's also a very hard ship to turn. So if we can leverage that, that collective buying power, collective strength, all the data that we have, and put it in the hands of somebody and just see what they create with it. I mean, I saw 11 great creations tonight,
right.
And I can't wait to kind of go back and dig into a little bit more. I've already got meetings with a couple of our runners-up scheduled just to say, okay, hey, here's what you did right. Yeah. Here's where we want to think about it more. But as I mentioned when we talked earlier, the diversity of perspectives, right? We had some people address our problem case with very procedural things, and it just made us think twice. It's like, again, this is really good, but we want it people first. And so there was really not a massive separation for most of the entrants.
Now, you are super experienced. You see a lot of technology. It's part of your job, right, to source technology. I mean, is there anything that surprised you? We're like, wow, this is never seen before.
Not technologically, but again, I don't think the big innovations that we're looking for are from technology. We have access to all this amazing tech. I mean, Microsoft is here. Who's going to have better tech than Microsoft? It's not about the technology, it's about how resourceful people get with it. And what I'm finding is really interesting is when you don't tell somebody what a piece of tech is made for, and you watch what they do with it, that's when the light bulbs really come on, right? We don't always, a lot of the, especially hardware, doesn't actually end up getting used for what it was designed for, but we find amazing new purposes for it. And that's where we're already like, the JLL team that's here is already just talking like, hey, we should do this and we should do this. Like that energy is like, it's already channeling back to us in our organization. So that's exciting.
That spark, yeah, I know, amazing. For all those who could not be part of Hack.Asia this year, how do they get in touch with you? Again, you're scouting like throughout the year, right?
So to get in touch with me, Jardine Kostelac, I know that's hard to spell, but there's only really one of them, so look me up on Google, or not Google, LinkedIn, I guess. I mean, Google too works. On Twitter, I'm at Scopelessness, so instead of hopelessness, Scopelessness, because I used to be a project manager. Reach out. Try not to use the word synergy when you reach out to me. Like we touch everything that's built, so we definitely have synergies. Know why you want to work with us. I think that's really the best advice I can give. Like when you're reaching out to large organizations, especially the ones that are participating in Hack.Asia, all the consistent message we got from the teams that we worked with was, we didn't know you did this, right? So you got to do a little bit of homework. Don't just come to an organization like JLL, like Hongkong Land, like Jardines, like Microsoft and say, well, you're big, you must have money or the resources to help me, but rather start to think about it and learn about us, because you'll learn a lot about you as you start to do that research as well. Exactly, and they know what they know and you know what you know, so it's about knowing what you don't know and trying to match that, right? And sometimes they tell us what we don't know about ourselves, and and that's exactly what we want. So reach out. I'm always an open book, but if all you can think is we might have a way to work together, you're going to have to do a little better than that. And I'm sure that's true for all of the people that participate in Hack.Asia. Okay, so one last word, if you would have to describe Hack.Asia in one word. Exhilarating. That's it. Thank you. Cheers. Cheers to that.